Hi everyone. Today our guest is Sukesh Maharaj, a respected Hindu priest and community leader who has dedicated his life to preserving Hindu traditions through prayer, devotion, and service. He joins us to discuss the upcoming Pancho, Pooja, Namaste, Sathnarayan Vrat Katha, explains the spiritual significance of the sacred prayer, why it continues to inspire generations of devotees, and how events like these strengthen faith, family values, and community unity. From the importance of involving our youth to the meaning of Mata, Pita, Gurudev will explore how music, prayer, and selfless service can transform lives and keep our rich cultural heritage alive. Please join me in welcoming Sukesh Maharaj. May this conversation inspire and uplift everyone watching. How are you, Sukesh?
Hey, Bhaiya. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you on something like this to promote our Sanatana Dharma. I know I was a bit late there, I must say, but I do apologize.
No worries, no worries. So, Sukesh, for those that are not too clued up about this event, please tell us about this prayer.
Okay. Sathnarayan Vrat Katha is one of the oldest kathas that's been around for millions of years, and it's the word
Wow.
of Lord Vishnu. And it's all about ethics and morals. And most of the time, we focus on just mantras and meditation, which is very, very important. But I think, to my knowledge, from what I've gathered, that this is the basic uh, Sanatan way of life, uh, promoting ethics and morals. And that is, I've seen the issues in society and community. So that is why I've chosen this one. And with my dad and my mom being involved, Pandit Prakash Maharaj, Srilal Maharaj, in community services. Well, my dad is late now. So by his
Oh, sorry.
teachings, when he started to, you know, preach or do his pujas and stuff like that, do his kathas. I never really understood what it meant, but eventually I realized and realized also that in community we lack the spiritual knowledge. Now, spiritual knowledge does not mean like mantras and all these things and the type of prayers that we do. It is partially that, but spiritual knowledge also gives us ethics and morals and the proper Sanatan dharmic humanitarian way of life. So that's what this katha is basically about. Hopefully, I answered the question in the correct way.
Sure, sure. Can you tell us what will be unfolding tomorrow?
Well, look, tomorrow we have at 1 o'clock, which we want as much people as possible to join us in welcoming Nanda. Nanda is the bull. He was uh, he was gifted it. He was gifted this to my father, Pandit Prakash Maharaj, P.R. Maharaj, by another Pandit, Puran Maharaj, and his family. Uh, so, you know, that's the closest that we can get to my dad and to our other respected Pandit, Puran Maharaj. Uh, well, I'm not trying to promote our fathers and, just to make that clear. It is just a way of trying to show people that, we can keep in touch with nature also. And with certain links of Mother Nature, we have still will still have that link with our parents also. So Nanda will be coming there at 1 o'clock. We want as much people as possible to give him the welcome. It's going to be very interesting and exciting. We've got Shakti boys who will be helping us to welcome Nanda at that point. It's a Ram Bhajan group, so we're trying to be unity in diversity, basically, right? It's a Ram Bhajan group made up of lots of youngsters, so they'll be joining us in welcoming Nanda. And then we will have a grand entry of all our deities and murtis and gods and goddesses. And then the katha. We'll do a small invocation, which I'm keeping, as I said, you're keeping my invocations very minimum and simple because I want to focus more on the English version of teaching people. When I say English version, I mean language, not westernized or anything of that sort.
Mm.
So I'm trying to keep in with the topic, but using our katha with reality now. So then after the invocation, the katha will start. Then we'll try, we'll have the Hawan. Everybody will participate in that. We'll have 10 people or 10 families or maybe 15 families who we're giving a chance we're setting vedis for them, and we're giving them a chance to be part of this whole prayer. Uh, sometimes if they can't afford it, sometimes there's no space, in their homes, no yard. So we're giving them an opportunity. So this prayer is for everyone to join us, and then we'll do the arti thereafter, the Havan, and then Shanti Part. And then we have, I don't know if we're going too fast, but then we have Jai Mata D entertainers, our local, fantastic, must say, very talented musicians. When you get there, they're going to have something very, very special for us, like Shakti Boys also. They will be performing the bhajan in between the chapters. We try to keep it orthodox. I won't say old-fashioned, but orthodox, because people must not get bored. Sometimes I may just go off track a little bit, because there's so much to talk about. It's very difficult to keep to one topic, because we have to consider all aspects of life to understand just the one aspect. In saying that, like what goes around comes around. So if you give a person enough chance to explain something like this, like at a katha, then you will understand, and our general life basically will really, really, really be uplifted and be improved, maximum, you can say. So, and then after the Havanda Aarti and the bhajan, then we're going to do some entertainment depending how people are. If they are there, we will honor them with some entertainment, by Nagara or whatever it is that these guys are going to have planned for us. But it's going to be fantastic and fabulous and energetic. And while the entertainment is happening, we want people to enjoy themselves, dance, and then we're going to feed them. We're going to give them meals. So meals, we're catering for over 1,000 people. We want people to get. We want people to get there. The hall, we are going out of our way, which is a pleasure, out of our way. So when people come there, they must know that they're sitting in a 10-star place, and they must not feel any negativity. It must be positivity. Come with that vibe and leave with that vibe, and let it last. It's not for the day; it's forever. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I
even
know you meant. Oh, sorry.
yes, and also at the same time, we have so much food prepared that we make sure nobody leaves empty-handed. Whoever is there at the right to the bitter end, we're packing, we're giving them, and at the same time, with all our extra food, we try and make as much as prepare as much as possible. We feed the community wherever they are, that we know that we'll be needing some, meals. We go there and we give them hot meals.
Awesome. All right. I know you mentioned about the music and entertainment. Can you enlighten us on that?
Well, look, we'll be doing bhajan in between the
Okay.
5 chapters. So we're doing bhajan in between, and the bhajans are going to be so energetic that we call it bhajan jamming, bhajan clubbing. Look, I don't want to get there about that, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice, but in the sense that we are creating a dome and a temple of God, and with this bhajans, energetic bhajans that we're having, guys can
Uh-huh.
even dance into, make it exciting, feel the vibration which we're trying to create. But also at the same time, I don't want people to get the wrong message that your vibration and your energies can only be brought to you via music or
Yeah.
via people. Although satsang
Yeah.
is important, it can also be when you're walking into a place of worship, when you look at that murti, when you step in and you look at that murti, that's when your energy must start growing, because you must start talking in terms of prayer, you know. So in terms of the music, yeah, and we will have some dances, it'll be exciting. So for people who don't want to dance and want to watch, we'll have these special dances there. And uh, for people who don't want to watch and they want to dance, well, there'll be dance.
Can you tell
So
me
that's
about how it? Sorry.
Jai Mata Di entertainers.
Okay. Okay. How important is it for the youth to join in?
Look, uh, with all due respect, I'm going to say it like this: we have
Sure.
passed ourselves by date. We have passed ourselves by date, including me. I have kids that are 12 and 18 years, and life is not about singing and dancing
Mm.
only. The importance of this prayer for our youths is so that they can understand the importance of Mata Pita, Gurudeva. And this is what I'm trying to promote. When people get there, they're going to know the value They may not understand it immediately, but in time, when the time comes, when it applies to them, that is when they're going to see the value and appreciate what we are saying. So, in life, like as we say, example, don't eat your food, uh, have your food like medication. So one day, you don't have to have your medication like food. You know what I'm saying? So, just like that, there, your diet is important, your spiritual knowledge is important, because you will come to a point one day when we'll need the spiritual knowledge for our parents. So that, example, one day when we die, they don't take us and throw us in the bush. And the other thing is, when we were in diapers one day, our parents changed it. One day when we end up there, who is going to do it? Are we going to go into the homes? So these are the things that's going to affect our youth. And if they are trained in this manner from a young age, then when we reach a particular age, we ourselves, we won't be left out. We'll have our shoulder, our extra years, and so on and on and on. So this is why it's so important for our youth. We passed ourselves our gates, our parents, our history of this country. We suffered, but we're not suffering anymore. Let's be honest. So in terms of how it's going to affect our youth, they're going to learn the value of our parents, so that they don't go to school and start hitting the teachers and carrying guns and knives, something like that there. So that's how it's going to, and also on a daily basis, daily life, it's going to motivate children to like understand that, our what's this now? Uh, Life is not a joke, and when they come to a certain, it's everyday training to know how to what you call treat people and treat their parents and treat their family and friends, how to deal with problems, all the kind. It's a whole lot of things. It's a whole lot of things, you know. So that's how it will affect our children.
True. In Hinduism, we say Mata Di Gurudeva. Please elaborate on that.
See, when we ask people who comes first in our lives,
Mm,
people say God.
mm,
But there's a point when our parents do come first. It's Mata Pita Gurudeva, because
mm,
our parents, by the forces of Mother Nature, all God Himself, mighty Himself, right? Uh, we have been blessed to have children or to be a child of parents. And we must respect that first, because see, parents also play a very big role in our lives. They are our first teachers, right? Our first, guide to life itself. And I mean, look, who would want more for you to be the best in this world?
mm.
Who would want more than our parents would want? You know what I'm saying? Our parents, they would want us the most for our children, for my children, for their children to be at the best in their lives. So this is why Mata Pita Guru Deva is important. And then the teacher, after parents teach their children whatever they need to and whatever they can, obviously they have to work. They won't have much time. The children they are big enough to go to school. That's when the mother and father will teach the child via Sanatan Dharma how important the teacher is. The importance of a teacher, what significance they will have in our life, not immediately but eventually. And then they will respect that teacher. And then with Mata Pita Guru Deva, so we're saying it comes last. Not exactly, but we've got to put it in perspective. Then comes God, because you've got to learn about God. You learn about
Yeah,
God, you become a devotee. So that's how Mata Pita Guru Deva works.
awesome. In your experience of music and prayer, how proud of a Hindu are you?
Look, I'm a very versatile person. My mom and my dad, as I said, they are our first
Mhm.
teachers. And they taught us about Sanat Dharma and music. They gave us a chance to learn music. And music is something, it's a language of its own.
Mm,
You know, it's a very sensitive issue. That's my first religion, by the way. I said, "Oh, okay, I can say maybe second religion, but that's my religion. A musician has no religion, right? But obviously, became a priest. I have to follow. Not have to. I've learned to follow this way, which is the same thing as every other way. So
Yeah.
music is actually secondary to earning our devotion and understanding it and achieving that energy. It is secondary, but very important. It's a language of its own. It brings people together because I play gospel music, I play kawali, I play bhajan, and I must tell you this part. It might sound a bit rude, abrupt, misleading, but there was a time I was a full force musician, and I'll
Wow.
mention Sima Zara. She knows me quite well, and she can also say and tell you that we play music from a very young age. And there was a time, where I could make people drink and dance with me, you know. But it's so amazing that life took such a big turn that today I'm making people fast and pray with me, you know. So music has a very, very big significance in all of our lives because it can make you cry, it can make you laugh, it can make you dance, it can make you sit, listen, and think. It can do a lot for you. It can make you angry, but we need to use music for all the positive, for the positive. Although it's secondary, but we also need to use it as a positive vibe for us to attract positivity and not just for fun. You know, we got to put it in perspective and use it in the proper manner. So yes, music is basically like my first love too. So it's very, very important. That is why we're also having this bhajan and uh, entertainment to give people. Well, of course, there's many reasons why we use music and how people, uh, But that is my take on it. Music is a beautiful thing. It's a language of its own. It can bring people together from east to west. Music is the best.
Beautiful. What is your ultimate goal is continuing to serve our community, and what do you think our culture is lacking?
Well, Martin's goal to is, as I said, the kata itself teaches you about promises, keeping up to your word, and all that kind of thing. People are running new businesses, or maybe it's old, I don't know, but it's become very big, very huge businesses where they promise you, I'll come to your house and fix your car or build your house, and then they take half your money and they run away. They don't come back, and because I go door to door doing prayer like this. Yeah, people invite me, and I've heard people complain. They said to me, hey, what you think of this? Look at my house. You know what happened? No, this guy came, took the deposit, did half the job, took the balance of the money. So that's how it's going to help our community by understanding and creating. Look, we call it fear. We call it fear. It's like you go to a court of law. If you kill somebody, what is it? You know. So the teaching behind all this is not that God is not merciful, but if you make a mistake, you have to be punished. So I'm trying to say to people,
Mm.
the claim God will forgive me. The temple is my home. No, no, no. It does not work like that. It does not work like that at all. Because why do we get temples, churches, mosques, places of worship? What? It's for people to visit there, so that when we're in trouble, we make this temple spiritual family. When we're in trouble, they will be by our side. Like the temple near our home, we must attend to the temple, attend the temple. So one day when something happens in your home, those people, the neighboring people, will be there before your own family will be. So this is what I'm trying to say to community that you know we need to understand this. Spiritual knowledge, as I said again, is not just like mantras and stuff like that. It's the understanding behind it. You can chant Om Namah Shivaya, Kapura Goram, all that kind of thing. You know, uh, you can chant thousands of mantras, thousands of havans you can do. But if you don't understand what is Sanatana Dharma, then you fail immediately.
Mm.
So,
That's true.
there's ingredients. Like when you need to cook a pot of food, there's ingredients that you need to use, right? In the same manner, in life, there's ingredients that you need to use. Not only feeding the poor and saying, I did so much. What about for your own self peace of mind? Hmm? Your own health benefit when it comes to fasting. Like in the gym, I know maybe not a new thing, but for me it's a new thing where we call it intermittent fasting. So people want to know why we must fast. These simple questions: why we must go to temple, why we must pray. The temple is our home. These kind of things need to be addressed and explained to people. Like me, I've got two boys, 18 and 12 years old. My wife is so small built. If I die, who will carry my box? You understand?
Mhm.
We are trying to give that support to people so you can get the very same support back. When we say Mata Pita Guru Deva, the law of karma also. The law of karma is what you do, what you sow shall you reap. What goes around comes around. In our Sanatan Dharma, even in our pujas, at the time of death, when we do those Shraddha prayers, pujas, and whatever it is telling you what goes around comes around. Be good, do good. You know. So this is how it's going to affect our community. With all these little things that we address, it's going to make a big difference for our community. And obviously, you've got to come there and you've got to listen, pay attention, and also you got to bring your children. You can't say to to people or say to your children or talk in front of your children. Oh, I don't know whether my child will do this. I don't. Today's children, they don't want to fast, right? You already told them don't do it. So also, even at the time of death, sometimes people, now forgive me, I'm talking about this across the board. This is a very sensitive thing that I'm going to say, right? Something very sensitive. I'm not a prejudiced person or biased or anything of that sort. I believe in unity and diversity, right? We as Hindus, we believe in everything. You can say we believe in everything, right? So I know of people, they'll go to their parents on their deathbed, their fathers or mothers on their deathbed, and then they say, you know what, listen, I, you know, I'm Christian now, so when you die, what's going to happen? What are you asking this person? Oh, you know what, Dad, I'm Hindu now. When you die, what's going to happen? So what is your father going to say? What is he going to say? He'll say, do what you want. With a heavy heart, with a broken heart, you broke him on his deathbed. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like when we were brought by our parents, in the same manner, we're going to send them off. And you can't do it. But you can take his house, take his car, take everything, but you can't just take the responsibility of doing the right thing and giving our parents a proper send off. The responsibility. So I know what I'm saying could be contradictory because I'm mentioning religions, organizations, and cultures and stuff like that. But it's not about that. It's about, this is general. The Katha, although it's the word of Lord Vishnu and his story, it is still very versatile. And every single culture can use it to benefit from it. You understand? So I want to try and motivate our culture to people, motivate people to accept that there are certain rules and regulations that we've got to follow so that we can benefit from it overall. Excuse me.
Sure. What will the audience be taking after the prayer?
Again, say again.
What will the audience be taking after the prayer? Taking back
The
after the
audience,
prayer? Yeah.
well, they'll be taking something so valuable that it
Mhm.
lasts for 1 or 2 days. It lasts for a whole lifetime. It will help us for when we reincarnated, when we take rebirth, uh, to take minimum times of rebirth because we want to attain our salvation, moksha, and liberation, right? So the knowledge that they'll be taking home and the awareness. Now, listen, I'm not a professor or anything, right? my knowledge is very limited, and it's the little that I've learned that I want to share. And as I said, going door to door, I I've come to understand and note people's issues and their problems. So before they go through these problems, prevention is better than cure. I'm trying to address these issues, and uh, if you can call it a warning or whatever it is, it's okay. But take it as it should be, awareness, so that these things don't happen in our lives at a later age. So they'll be taking home the biggest prasad that we're taking home is that awareness of Sanatana Dharma, Mata Pita, Gurudeva, and living a righteous life, as far as possible. Look, I'm not perfect myself. Making them understand that you don't have to know Hindi, Sanskrit, and Tamil, and Telugu, and whatever it is. Things are modern, but in keeping up with science and modernization, we must also remember that we need this guidance of people that's in a particular, like in this industry of spirituality, we're there all the time. And obviously, look, as I said, I don't know everything, but the little that I understood, I am trying to put that out. And that's very basic. People lack that basic knowledge. They'll be taking home that basic knowledge, which will last them a lifetime. It'll last them whatever, how many thousand times of reincarnation that they're reborn. It'll last them that much. And most importantly, also our children. If they bring their children to this prayer, to this katha, they have a minimum chance of being abused by their kids. And because I see this happening out there, I am doing this and showing what prayer is all about. Not that God will forgive me. It's not about that. It's about doing the right things in life. So that's what they'll be taking home, a whole lot of knowledge and awareness that will last them a lifetime and many lifetimes.
Okay, how does the help of community make it easier to host a function of this caliber?
Yeah, exactly. Look, we have a lot of people that came on board to help us, well, financially, and like Seema herself, yourself, getting involved and doing this live, for me. You know what? I'm new to this, and I can see you're a very, very wonderful person and humble, uh, very easy to communicate with, and I must thank you for that. So these are the qualities, like yourself, what you're doing right now. Community. I belong to community. You belong to community. Seema belongs to community. Lucy belongs to community. All of us belong to community. And by doing their bit in promoting the Sanatana Dharma, how would they promote it? By bringing their friends and family. Bringing their friends and family to join us so that this can benefit each one of them. If someone doesn't know about prayer, tell them, listen, jump in the car. Come on, I'll take you. Come on, let's go. We went to last week's party, we went there. Oh, come, let's go, Yatu. We're still going to get food. We're still going to dance. But explaining them how important it is, right? And making an attempt to give people a chance to explain themselves, like even me. Come, give me a chance. Let's come and see what I have to say. Let's discuss. So this is how community will help us promote Sanatana Dharma by learning a little. And another thing I'd like to say, as much as we're using social media, I've been like blocked from some groups, right now, a couple of groups or many groups, because when people ask questions, I try to give them the answers, and when they don't accept it, we got to go full head on. And my brothers have warned me, not to use social media and that because you may just lose support and whatever. I said no. This is not what I don't need support in the kind of support that we are talking about, that I'm talking about. But I mean the support that we need is like what the question that you asked. So we don't need to lie on social media that as long as your heart is clean, it's fine, do what you want. We don't need to lie and win people over. That we want to be liked. We need to be respected for saying the truth. So community can get involved in this way. Look, forgive me when saying this. You can be sitting at a bar. You can talk about God. You would be. You can talk about God. You can explain. My mother died. My father died. This is what the priest did. This is what I've learned. Have you done this before? Not only gossiping about bad things. You know what I'm saying? So we can be sitting anywhere. Talk about God. Explain people what you know. Make it a conversation because it's a prayer. It's a prayer when you talk about God. Anytime you mention God's name and you talk about God, it becomes a prayer. It becomes very, very important. And by talking about God all the time, community will mend their ways. Like even myself, we'll mend our ways. Things that we're doing wrong, we realize, hey, I need to stop now. I need to stop this now. This is not right. You know, so we can change, and by you changing, you can have an effect on hundreds of people and thousands of people, millions of people. So very, very important for community to get involved in all these things, motivating other people to come through and promote Sanatana Dharma. That's how they can get involved and make a big difference. It's not only money. We don't only need money in our lives. There's many things that we need to make life successful, joyful, you know. So we don't want to get involved in the materialistic side of it, but that's also one of the things that we talk about, in this katha. So by listening, you can take home much more messages than the ones I will be giving. But paying attention and knowing that this is important, that's the importance of community getting involved so that they can pass on the message. We are all soldiers of our community, not soldiers that are holding guns. We don't need that. And remember, you know, I must say you this part, right? Uh, I don't know if you wanted to wait to ask me what motivated me to do this, right? Probably another question would have come about, so forgive me. But it just comes to mind now, so I'm not going to say it, right? Forgive me for that. The motivation on this was, I started to see issues in society and homes by going and officiating. And even look, even my wife now, Lucy, my wife, even she used to think, hey, what is this guy talking on the phone for such a long time for? And then she realized why, because we had like elderly people phoning me and talking to me. And forgive me, I'm not a professor again, I'm saying I'm not a great guidance counselor or psychologist or something of that sort. But for some reason, I think it's because I chose this job as a Brahmin, as a Pandit or a priest. They feel like, you know what, by talking to me now, it'll reach God's ears, or you'll find some consolation out of it. And then I also started introducing her to this. And she saw the light also. And she also, the amount of people that told her, she works as an everyday job, right? But she'll make the time, even after hours, to listen to people and try and give them that peace of mind and that hope. So even community at large, we can take that role of giving people hope, which we need to take that every step of the way. And so eventually, I used to say to people, you know what, hey, I'd like to do this. I'd like to make a difference in society. Uh, in remembering what we spoke about earlier now, about what the katha is about, right? And then people should say, no, but we in Kali Yuga, this is Kali Yuga, and you're going to get all these things. I'll say, yeah, I know what you mean, but aside from that, I just want to make a difference, to the world. And then they said to me, but you only one person. And then I said to myself, hey, that's true. I'm only one person. How do I make a difference? Just being one person. And then as I continued to do my work as a priest, as a pandit, officiating kathas and all that, and there were certain things I used to say, and then the people where I used to be at, I'll have one or two people say, you know what, hey, your father always said that. Your father always said that. Your father always said that. I'll say, yeah, I know. I used to be there and go to a next house. And in fact, in that month now, everywhere I went, someone always told me what my father said, regarding prayer. And then I thought to myself, hey, hang on, man. My father, including my mom, right? They're only one person. My father is only one person, right? And I went to so many houses, and in this month here, already 50 people told me your father always said this. So how come he was only one person? How come he made a difference? So then it made me think, I can find, it may have taken him 40, 50 years of his services to the community. It may have taken my mom 40, 50 years of her services to community to make a difference. So if it takes me 40, 50 years, I can also make a difference. So that is how I realized, hey, I can make a difference. That's what motivated me. to continue with this work also. And then also at the same time, I decided, hey, why just go to one person at a time? Let's bring everyone from their house to my house and let's do it there. You know, there I'll be making a bigger difference. And then I said, but you know what? It's going to be difficult. And then I said, okay, fine. You know what? To cook 2 or 3 pots of food is fine. We'll do it. I'm a musician, so I said, okay, fine. If need be, I can sing too. You know, I got my guy. I'm the priest, so it's fine. I can do the katha myself. So we just need to get minimum, get it done. And then, look, I must be honest. Then we came across a guy. He takes me to do his prayer in Kokstan, Sukesh Maharaj, right, and his family. And when I got there, then he used to tell me, you know what, hey, like we used to talk, and he'll say, you know what, it's quite lonely here. You know, families are all that side. I'd say, yeah. But he calls me every year to his Sathnarayan Vrat Katha and also his Pita every year. Being so far now, right? Kokstar, I'm in Phoenix, at Durban, right? And it made me realize, hey, you know what, this guy is trying his utmost best to keep up with his prayer and with his Sanatan Dharma, being in that area there. So let me see how I can offer him, more value, more value. And then I started to talk about this Pancho Pooja, and he's telling me, you know what, hey, back in the day when he was around there, he used to do this Pancho Pooja. So he says, you know what, I think I want to come on with you. So that was also my, my structure now to say, well, I got extra help and motivation. So I'm going to say, with all the help I'm getting from other guys, look, business is very tough. The guys are suffering, with current issues. I won't talk about that. It's very, very difficult. But some of them have come through, and whatever they've, given us to get this prayer done, it makes a big difference, a huge difference. Some of them are really hustling. Even if they gave me 50 rand, it's a plate of food for somebody, for 2 people, in fact. You know what I'm saying? So this is the way how I've been motivated. Look, it's my journey uh, of life that have brought me to the stage. And as I said, I was a very funful person, playing music at clubs, beach festivals, weddings, birthdays, going home late and get up in the morning, going and playing Bhajans and Kathas. I don't want to tell you what condition we should go with, but I felt like I was chosen because being a priest was not even in my list of jobs. It wasn't there. Uh, and somehow or the other, if you're asking me how this whole thing came about, this is how it came about. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just my parents. It wasn't just my wife. It wasn't just my brother or sister. It wasn't just my friends. It was everybody collectively that gave me a chance to show me that I'm worth it and that I can do it. So my message to people on that note, don't be too surprised. The people that you think cannot help you, they will help you. And that's the message also that's coming from the Sathnarayan Katha that we're going to do tomorrow. So, I don't want to give the whole Katha, right? I'll leave that for tomorrow. Yeah. So that's how I've been motivated. Look, I got to give people the credit. Whatever falls short of the monies that needs to be put into this prayer, it is done by me and my family. But basically, I took the responsibility with my wife, Lucy, to make sure that this is done to the best of our ability. And I can't thank the people enough that has motivated me, everybody, to do this. Whether it was them out, or whether it was their money, or whether it was their hands, whatever it is, I really, really do appreciate it. So hats off to these guys. Thank you, everybody.
All right. There's a comment here from Seema here. She wanted to know, Pandit, please elaborate on Pancho Puja.
Well, Pancho Puja doesn't necessarily mean any particular prayer. It's a
Okay.
community. It's for community to get together and sing praises, listen to sermons, and enjoy the Word of God, and to understand what spiritual knowledge really means, and from all angles where it comes from. So it's a time when community can get together, set that day aside for them to get together, build up that relation, understand how we can make our world a better place, our community a better place to live in. So Pancho Puja is any type of prayer and gathering uh, that is for public and community. So that is why, if you ask me again, how people can, you know, make our Sanatan Dharma uh, better in terms of spreading that knowledge and promote it, is by coming over, understanding it, and teaching our children, and that's what Pancho Puja is all about, spreading the word of God.
Thank you so much for your time, Sukesh.
No, no problem, no problem. I must thank you,
You're most
Nancy.
welcome.
And we've got